Hi, my name is Dan Wilson. We're going to talk about failure. So a little bit about me. Co-founder, CTO at Control Plane, where we're building a multi-cloud platform. And prior to that, I have 20 years of experience at SAP Concur in a lot of different roles and saw a lot of different failures throughout my career, some of which I caused myself, and somehow I still survived. So I'm here to teach or share, rather, what I learned throughout that experience, and I hope it can help someone else. This is my family. We love to get outside and enjoy the Northwest. So with that, let's pretend for a minute that you're fast asleep and then suddenly your pager duty goes off. And you have to work on a serious issue that maybe you caused yourself. So don't be this guy. Don't freak out. It's okay. Just stay calm, relax. If you are nervous and acting like crazy like this, then you're not going to be able to think clearly. And you're not going to be able to solve the issue as fast. And you probably will make a mistake too, and possibly even make the issue worse. So stay calm. It's going to be okay. And once you get your bearings, start to analyze the data and see if you can figure out what's going on. Also, though, you have to make sure that you communicate the issue and communicate it broadly across the different groups that need to know about it, whether it's ops, engineering, support, upper management. Make sure you get the word out there. And if this is something you caused, maybe you caused the issue before you went to sleep, make sure you're honest about what you think you might have done so that it's not a surprise to them later. If you try to brush things under the rugs, it's going to come back to bite you. I mean, in this industry, everything's logged, right? So it's pretty easy to figure out what happened. Also, take ownership of the issue. This is a great opportunity to shine in your company, even if you're the one that caused the issue. So don't be afraid to step up and be the one that really helps coordinate and resolve the issue. And as you're doing that, also, you uncover some things. Good leaders don't place blame on others. So if you figure out that maybe someone ran a query against the database and it caused that CPU to spike to 100%, don't call that person out by name. Just say, there's a query running on the database. It's running at 100% CPU. State the fact without stating the person. And then, if you do that, then you won't be as much of a detractor as well from the issue, and for your own career. So then you want to dig into the data. Make sure you really look at every possibility as to what's happening, uncover what's going on, leave no stone unturned. Don't give up too, because what happens to me a lot is I will start thinking I know what's happening, and I'll go down a path that the data is leading me down and start analyzing it and figure out that, this isn't the problem at all. It was just, irrelevant completely to the issue, and we just happen to notice it now. So when that happens, don't give up. It's going to happen. Just take a step back, take a more broader perspective, broader look at the data again. Maybe ask for some other sources of information that other teams have uncovered so you can have a fresh perspective on what's happening. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to just give up. You don't want to leave it to some other team or another group to fix your mess, especially if it's something you created. But even if it's not, take ownership of your own systems that you're supposed to support and maintain, and make sure you actually check to make sure that your systems are running the way that they're supposed to. Don't just assume they are. I've seen that as well. And then once you have the issue resolved, make sure that you really analyze and look at all the data around it and collect all the data, because there's going to be a root cause analysis. It's going to be a lot easier to go through that process if you've collected data and the data is really fresh right after the incident. So it's a great time to just go collect all the screenshots, the logs, the alert messages, anything that is related to that incident, so that you can be well prepared for a 5 whys discussion later. And never waste a good failure. Like, make sure that you guys have a 5 whys. Make sure that you actually go through and fix things. Otherwise, you're going to face this again, and it'll probably be worse too. So take the opportunity to fix things. And it's a great opportunity, once again, to show people that you care, that you're passionate about the company. If you're going to actually go through and make sure that we never, ever face this issue again. Don't be afraid to get a little dirt in your face too. If you were the one that caused the issue or not, talk about it. Maybe host a lunch and learn, and describe what the mistake was that you made, what we can do to prevent it from happening again. How did you go through and correct the issue? It's going to be painful to go through that process, but that pain will prevent you from making the same mistake again. And you'll probably end up teaching a lot of other people about your error, your mistake, and they can avoid ever making that mistake. So only good things can come out of that. Speaking of 5 whys, here's an example of a 5 whys discussion. A service was offline because the pod was stuck terminating. Why was it stuck? Well, the node was at 100% CPU. Why was the node at 100% CPU? Next why, right? Prometheus had high CPU and it was running on the same node. Why did it have high CPU? Well, turns out that Prometheus had a lot of high cardinality metric labels in the system. It's a common issue with Prometheus. Well, why was it running on the same node? Well, Kubernetes scheduling allowed it. And then the corrective action here was to configure Kubernetes to run Prometheus on isolated nodes and fix the high cardinality metrics. Is this good? Yeah, it's okay. But I see this a lot. I see that the last 1 or 2 whys get addressed and nothing else along the way. I think what you should do instead is make sure that you're addressing every why answer to make sure that you can detect the issue, that you can avoid the issue potentially, that you can remediate it if it does happen. So like some automatic correction is nice. So this is another opportunity where you can go above and beyond and really shine and avoid potential issues down the road by going a little deeper than normal in a 5 why situation. So in review, here's a list of do's and don'ts. I've been talking a lot about what you should do from an IC perspective, but as a leader, this looks a little different. So if you're a manager, director, any type of leader in your organization, make sure that your teams know that they have the ability to fail. Provide for that. Make sure they have a plan for when things do go wrong, and also talk about your own failures with them, because if they know that you've made mistakes in your past, that it's okay for them to make mistakes too, and they're not going to try to hide it and cover it up. And you don't want that, because if they try to hide the issues, then they're going to probably hide the little issues to begin with, and then they'll hide the big issues. And then when things get really bad, they'll hide even bigger issues. It's terrible. You want to catch the little issues early on and get them addressed early on so that they don't turn into bigger issues. So make sure people know they can talk about this stuff. And you'll be much better off as an organization. That's how to fail your way to success. So thank you very much for attending. Look forward to talking to each of you one-on-one.